Hi everyone! I am going to show you how to do a workout at home when you don't have any access to going to the gym or going to a workout class. So a couple different supplies that I'm going to be using, I'll give you some alternatives. I just bought these sliders, and you could just go on Amazon and buy sliders. These ones are great for hardwood floor because you put this down and then you can slide on hardwood floor. And then my mom already had these. These are great. These are for the carpet. So there's different ones that have different materials for hardwood or carpet. And I also bought these fabric bands, and you can buy any type of band. I wanted to get the fabric because a lot of the rubber latex ones can hurt the skin or roll up. So these ones are really great, and I'll show you how to use those in a little bit. If you don't have sliders, that's okay, because you can also just use really fuzzy socks and you can slide on your hardwood floor very easily. And if you don't have hardwood floor, laminate floor, anything will be fine. And if all you have is carpet, that's fine too. You can still do it. And then the other thing is weights. Now, I have only one set of weights at home. I just have these 4-pound weights, so I'll be using those for some of the arm movements. But if you don't have weights, then use anything you got, like cans of something for your weights, anything that's heavy that will be equal in balance for the arm movements. And then, so I'm gonna do a quick workout to show you what is similar that I teach at Core 40, which is the Legree Method. Now, the Legree Method is created by Sebastian Lagree, who's located down in Los Angeles. He patented and created these amazing machines called the Megaformer. And the Megaformer machines have all of these straps and springs and a carriage and T-bars and everything so that you can get deeper engagement of your muscles based on certain alignments in your body. Now, because I don't have access to a Megaformer machine, oh my gosh, that would be amazing if I had one at home, but because I don't have one, I'm gonna show you some other ways that you can still get a very similar type of workout in, just with the things that you have at home. Now let me just move this back a little bit. Okay. So if you don't have sliders, you can just have fuzzy socks on and just come onto your hardwood floor. So I'm gonna hop on to the sliders for our beginning core workout, and I'm just gonna slide out into a plank, and I wanna engage the core, round the upper thoracic spine so that I can really knit my lower ribs to my hip bones. And that's gonna look like this. Otherwise, if I'm flopping out, that would look like this. So really engaging the core. Now I'm gonna start to plank to pike. So that's piking your hips up, reaching your feet towards your hands, and then slowly back out to your plank. Now, everything we do at Core 40 is slow and controlled, the 4-count tempo. I'm gonna try to keep that 4-count tempo here as well. It's very intense on the core. So this would be an amazing plank to pike. Now you can drop down to a side plank, opening up and engaging your obliques. I'm gonna thread the needle. So I'm threading the needle, threading my arm underneath, and then slow reach it back up. I'm gonna open up on the other side as well. Pike, so that I'm facing the same direction. Open up this way. Side plank. Thread the needle. If you're just joining me, go ahead and hop right in for this at-home workout. Good. Couple more plank to pikes. Warming up the body. Engaging that center core. Next up, there's this move called the Catfish. Hi everyone. There's a move called the Catfish on the Megaformer, and you're usually on the T-bars And then you squeeze your big toes together, squeeze your knees together. And then, oops. And then you, oh yeah, that's right. And then you slide your feet back and then slide them forward. Slide your feet back and slide them forward. So you want to be upright on the edge of a couch for that. You can also slide on your socks, like I was mentioning before, and that would be like this. Keeping a slight bend in your knees, slowly sliding your feet about the third of the way to your hands, and then back out. But notice how I'm having a bend in my knees the whole time. That is called reverse catfish. All right. Now we're gonna get out into our lunges. So I have weights. If you don't have weights, use soup cans, use something that's heavy, equal on both hands. And we're just gonna slide out into our lunge. Slide out into the right side, slide back. Slide out to the right lunge, slide back. Now if you don't wanna slide, because it does take a lot of core and inner thigh engagement, you can just step your right foot back or forward and go into your lunge. Now we're gonna add our arms once we start getting into that lunge, raising our arms overhead, coming back down, stepping up, sliding into the lunge, arms up, out, and back. So you're really engaging the core here. Oops, I forgot the arms. Engaging the core here the whole time. All right, next up is going to be our squats. So again, you're going to reach your arms out like goalposts and come into your squat and squat on down. Good. We're going to add in a clam shell, which you're squeezing your elbows and forearms together. That's going to engage your pectoral muscles. If this gets too heavy with any weights or what you've got, just use your arms. You don't need to have any weights in your hands. Good. Then we'll go to a tricep kickback, still staying low in your squat. Tailbone lengthening back, chest reaching forward. Kick your arms back, then slow bend at the elbows. Kick your arms back, slow bend at the elbows. So this is a tricep kickback. I'm still pulsing in that squat, engaging the glutes, squeezing here, and engaging my center core. Good. Still breathing. Awesome. Then we'll go right into our left leg. Lunging it out, sliding, arms out and up, and then sliding back. Slide out into that lunge, arms up, slide it back. So with this lunge, there's a couple different things that you can do. When you're sliding out to the lunge, you can keep your right leg straight and back, more of a crescent lunge, or you can go into both legs at 90 degrees. When you come back up, you'll want to really engage your center core so that your hip flexor doesn't get strained. Awesome. How's everyone doing? Warming up a little bit in the body? Does anyone have gliders? Or are you just using socks? Right now I'm just using socks. Good. Then we'll go back into our glutes. I'm gonna use a band for this one. If you don't have a band, I think you should get some for the next 3 weeks. If you guys want to keep your workout up, then bands are awesome. And I just bought these, and these are fabric ones. So if you saw my video in my Instagram story, I had put these on and I was testing them out, and I was walking around like this. And my mom and my husband were just cracking up because it looked hilarious. So what the band does is it creates resistance against your outer thighs and inner thighs. But in this instance, I'm squeezing my legs outwards to really engage the outer hips, outer glutes, and the quads. So I'm gonna come down and then open the knees out and in. Then with my arms, I can do a variation of things. I could do bicep curls. I could also do low bicep curls, more of the grocery bag style, where your elbows are hugged into your ribs and you're reaching your arms out and then squeezing, flexing the biceps in. Good. Now, if you don't have the band, you can still do this. You can still come down and still out and in with the legs. You're still gonna get that workout. Now staying on down, kick your arms back. We're staying low and pulsing in our squat. All right, next up, we've got our push-ups. Couple different options for your push-ups. This one, you can just be in your plank. I like wide push-ups. Open your arms wide, and then go ahead with your push-ups. Or lower your knees down. If you have any tension or tightness in your lower back, you squeeze your knees together. That will protect your back. It'll also strengthen your core. So elbows out, or you could do more of the tricep push-up. Elbows hug in. I really like the elbows out. Okay, next up, we've got mountain climbers. Going out into your plank, and then run it out. Hug those knees into the chest. Keep it going, keep it moving. Keep breathing here. Running it out. 10 more seconds, and then drop down to a forearm plank. In 3, 2, 1. Forearm plank. Sliding out into your plank here. You're on your forearms. Now we're gonna open up our obliques a little bit. Engage our obliques by bending our knee, bringing our right foot towards our right elbow, then step back. Left foot, back. Right foot, back. Left foot, back. And keep going here. All right. Lay on your back for hip lifts. I'm gonna use my band. If you have one, grab one too. Lay on your back. The band would be just a few inches down from your knees. Hands down next to your hips. Lift your hips up. Now open your knees out wide enough if you have the band on, finding your perfect resistance, where it's not straining your body, but it's challenging your body. Then you're gonna slowly lower your hips down and squeeze up. Squeeze your glutes at the top. Allowing your breath to settle a little bit. I'm definitely out of breath from doing the workout and talking at the same time. In 10 seconds, we're going to lift our hips high and lift our heels up. You'll notice that you get an extra glute engagement when you lift your heels. In 3, 2, 1. Lift your hips up. Slide your feet in just a couple inches closer, then lift up your heels. Now lower your hips down slightly and squeeze up. Squeeze your glutes at the top. Lower down, squeeze up. We're gonna pulse at the top in 10. You'll lift your hips up as high as you can in 5. Lift them up as high as you can in 3, 2, 1. Lift them up and then squeeze and lift. Pulse up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Should start to feel that booty burn. Start to feel more heat building up in the body. Still breathing. Keep going. Good. Lift those hips and squeeze up, up, up. Then hold at the top. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Now lower your heels down, lift up, down and up. So now your hips are staying elevated, but you're just lowering and lifting your heels of your feet. You'll start to notice that muscle engagement in those glutes, building up that heat, that burn even more. In 10, we'll lower down, draw knees into the chest. We have a couple more core moves. Lower those hips down in 3, 2, 1. Lower the hips down. If you have the band, gladly kick it off. Good. Draw the knees into the chest. Rock side to side. Apanasana, like in yoga. Just releasing any tightness in that lower back. I also like to circle the knees, and that just releases that lower back tension. Okay, a couple more core moves. So we're gonna reach our toes straight up to the ceiling. Then you can take a block, I forgot to bring one, or a can, or you can just hold your arms up as if you're holding a block in between your hands. Reach them overhead, but don't let your hands touch the floor. Then you're gonna slowly lower your right foot down to hover above the ground, alternating leg lifts, and then slowly return the foot back to meet the left. Then slowly lower the left foot down, hovering above the ground, slowly reach back up. Now with these alternating leg lifts, I want you to be mindful, bring your mind-body awareness into your lower and mid back, pressing down into the earth. If you start to notice that your ribs rise up towards the ceiling and you're really pressing your shoulder blades down into the floor, that would be your cue to readjust your position and press your low back, mid back down into the floor. Now, if you notice the further and further down you get your foot, that automatically starts to happen where your ribs go up to the ceiling, then don't let your foot come down that far. Maybe this is your range of motion. Another option is to bend both knees 90 degrees. Make sure you're pressing your low back, mid back down into the floor. Keep your knees hovering above your hips. Don't let those knees come towards you. It's going to engage your core even more. And then you do little taps with your foot down towards the ground. You'll start to notice that core really start to wake up. I start to notice I really have to be mindful of engaging the core the whole time here, because what wants to happen is my ribs want to flare up, and then that arch of the lower back starts to lift off of the floor. You could also bring your hands on your center core and really feel the engagement here. Just this little movement for a couple minutes, you'll notice how intense it builds up the fire and heat in your belly. Just about 30 more seconds here. We have just a couple more core moves. Do you guys want any more leg moves or arm moves? Write me a comment in the live stream. Any variations of things, ask me. I'll come over and check them out. Okay, release. Now hop on up. If you don't have your sliders, again, you could just use your socks. Socks on hardwood floor, you will slide. Awesome. Okay, so a little bit more core moves. You're gonna slide out into your plank. And this is called bear cub when we are on the Megaformer at Legree Studios. So I'm gonna squeeze my big toes together, squeeze my knees together. You're in a plank. Now you're gonna bend your knees, stopping when they're underneath your hips, and then slide back out into a plank. Slowly bend your knees in. Notice where they're stopping, right under my hips, and then straighten the legs back out. This is called bear cub. This is really engaging the core. It's engaging the whole body, really, but it is primarily a core move. You can even hover your knees and hold and squeeze, then slide back out. We have side plank coming up in 10. Let me see if there's any comments about, all right, so we'll do some oblique moves. We'll hold this side plank. You can also have a variation where your foot is in front of you. That would be your top foot. And you can reach your top arm up to the ceiling. Otherwise, you can stack the feet. You can also lift up out into a starfish. You pick where you're at today. Then we're gonna thread the needle underneath and then slowly reach up. Thread the needle and reach up. Thread the needle, reach up. Then we'll switch obliques in 10. Get a couple more reps in here. And we'll switch sides in 3, 2, 1. Lower down. I'm gonna switch sides this way. Otherwise, if you're at home, just go on down onto your left. Reach your top arm up. Remember those options. You can bring your front foot forward, stack, or open up. And then thread your needle. So you're threading your arm underneath your torso, and then slowly reaching the top arm back up to the ceiling. Last 10 seconds. Last few repetitions here. Really engaging that oblique. And release. All right, now time for our meditation. Let me grab a sip of water.